everybody, it's Mike from Chili Pepper Madness. Today I'm going to show you how to make an adobo sauce. It's a super versatile Mexican sauce recipe that you can use it in so many different dishes. You can use it in soups and stews and make all sorts of wonderful recipes. So let me show you how to make it. So to make an adobo sauce, we're going to start with some peppers, obviously. I got some ancho peppers and guajillos. A lot of people make their sauce with only anchos, but I kind of like the combination, and anchos and guajillos are perfect together. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to pop the stems off of our peppers because you don't want the stems in there. And you want to knock out a lot of the seeds. You can see how many seeds are in there. Sometimes I've left seeds in my sauces, but some people don't like the seeds because they say they're a bit bitter and there's kind of a texture problem. So a lot of times you can just break these open and just kind of knock the seeds right out. You see how easily those pop out? But if you need to, kitchen scissors are your friend here because you just kind of pop them right open and it'll kind of, there you go. See that? Opens right up, knock out the seeds. Set that aside. See, this is just 2 peppers and you can see all the seeds in there. All right, let me get these all deseeded and stemmed and then go on to the next step. All right, now that I've got my dried pods all deseeded as much as I need, and I'm gonna go ahead and dry toast them in a pan. And dry toasting them actually kind of activates some of the oils in the skins, and it brings a fragrant quality to it. It just makes the overall sauce a little bit tastier to me. You don't have to do this step, you can just skip it, but for me, I actually like to do this. I pretty much light toast them all the time for most sauces, and you don't need any oil, just do a dry toast, and you don't need a long time. You only need like maybe 2 to 3 minutes tops to kind of activate those oils and soften them just a touch, and just make sure they don't burn. That's the biggest thing. So, all right, let's get them toasted. So it's only been about a minute, and I can smell these already starting to get a little toasty. And the skins actually start to get a little bit more pliable, a little bit softer, like not completely soft, but you'll notice. And sometimes they puff up a little bit. So just keep an eye on them. And again, don't let them burn. You're really just trying to, activate those oils a bit and bring out some of their flavor. And then once these are done, I'm going to transfer them to a bowl, and we're going to soften them up. Okay, let me get these transferred over to a bowl. And what you want to do is you want to cover them in very hot water. So I've got some hot water right here, and let them steep for 15, 20 minutes, maybe up to 30 minutes, and everything will get super soft. The next step here is to cook down some other ingredients. I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil to my pan here, and we're going to add some onion. I'm going to cook that first. And the onion softened up, I'm going to add some garlic. And I like to use a lot of garlic. I got about 4 or 5 cloves in there. And but you can use however much you want. Garlic is just one of those things. And gonna cook it down 30 seconds, maybe a minute, until you can smell that gorgeous garlic blooming. Fills the room with deliciousness. Next, we're gonna add some tomato paste. And you can use fresh tomatoes if you want to make it that way. But tomato paste is just super concentrated, and you're gonna get a big flavor boost that way. And I'm going to add my seasonings right away to kind of let them bloom a bit. So I've got some cumin, I've got some Mexican oregano, I've got some cinnamon, and a bit of salt and pepper. I'm going to mix this up. And there are different ingredients that you can use, different seasonings. But these are just the ones that I prefer. And I'll have on the post, the actual blog post, some alternative seasonings that you can use, like clove or nutmeg or allspice. So these are just kind of like what I really love. So I'm just going to cook this down for about a minute. Let's kind of let those flavors start to bloom a bit. And once those are kind of, I'm going to say activated here, I'm going to add some water. Got about a half a cup here. And get this all mixed up. Swirl it all up, my friends. And then we're just going to let it simmer for a little bit. You don't want it to reduce too much. I just want to simmer. So I'm going to turn my heat down. And then this is going to form a lot of the flavor base. It's going to process it up in a food processor with my dried, rehydrated, I should say, peppers. And it's going to be a gorgeous, gorgeous sauce. So, all right, let's just let this simmer a bit. So you can see that these peppers are actually nice and soft. They're pretty pliable and they're gonna break apart really nicely. But really note the color of the water. So the hot water, a lot of the nutrients from the peppers have leached into the water and it changes the color. And you can use some of this water. It has still a lot of nutrients in there. You can use it to thin out your sauce if you want to. But some people say it's a little bit bitter. And you can balance that out with a little sugar or honey. Or just don't use it and use clean water or chicken broth or vegetable broth if you want to thin out your sauce. And we'll take a look at that once we process it. I've got my food processor set up here. And let's go ahead and add the contents of our pan to the food processor, or a blender is good here. Or you can get a big bowl and use a stick blender, however you want to do it. Get that all put in there. And then I'm going to add my rehydrated softened chili peppers. All right, let me get this lid on here. All right, let's process it up. All right, let's take a look at our adobo sauce here. And oh wow, you can see how nice and thick it is. And I'll look at the color on that. So right now it's kind of somewhere between a paste and a sauce. If you can take a look at that, it's really sticking to the spoon. So I want it to be more saucy. I mean, you can use this right now if you want to as more of a paste. Huge flavor. But I'm gonna add, I've got some water at the ready. I'm using fresh water, but you can use the steeping water if you want to. So let me add, I don't know, a quarter cup or so. Get that put in there. Give it another process. Thin it out a little bit. You can use broth as well. All right, just take a look, take a look. Getting more sauce-like, a little bit more sauce-like. Take a look at that, guys. Yeah, you can see now it's a little bit more, you know, softening up. So I think I want to add a little bit more water. I'm just going to add, I don't know, maybe another quarter cup. So I'm thinking overall I probably added about a half a cup of water, roughly. I'm not, you know, measuring super closely, just to your preference. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that. This is an adobo sauce. Doesn't it look a lot like the stuff that, you know, Chipotle's in adobo? So look at that. Oh yeah. And it's still a little bit coarse. Like I could keep processing it until it gets extra smooth, or I can strain it out. Very saucy. So let me pop this into a bowl and take a look. And here we go. I got about 2 cups or so of this delicious adobo sauce. You can see how like rich it looks. Look at the color on that. It's like super dark. Anchos make really dark sauce. And oh man, look at that. Take a look, guys. I hope you like it. Chili pepper madness, adobo sauce, delicious. Enjoy.